do I balance this and get a couple more, like
No.
a couple?
No.
Yeah.
I know it sucks ass. Like I know, because you are probably just like me. You're an entrepreneur and you want to just go. And one of the biggest lessons that I can give you of like me having to eat shit is
I know that
do
feeling.
not go.
Yeah.
So today we are joined by, do you prefer Louis or Louis? Is it Louis? 'Cause
Louis.
I always get
it's Louis.
confused because like I'm
It's
just
spelt a little bit like Lewis.
yeah, I just can't. I've never understood. Like, I get no offense. I get IE. I don't get IS.
Nah.
Because then it's like
I'm different. It's like the French version. It's like King Louis.
Louis has like a I've never got it.
Look up King Louis.
It doesn't make sense in my brain. Anyway, so here with Louis today. We've been working with him to kind of get your management business set up now because you've already got a couple rent-to-rents.
Yeah.
You've built that out, and then you've realised you want to make some changes and kind of grow the business further in a more scalable manner. So we're going to kind of map out today what it is you need to do, give you a bit of a game plan and kind of clear your head a little bit of like what actually
work out the next steps.
What are the next steps? So just give anyone watching a little bit of context about your business, where are you currently at?
So currently operate 9 SAs, which are all in like Hertfordshire, local to me. Hired a finance VA, thanks to you. So she's on her third week now. So settling in, just trying to work everything out because there's months of bookkeeping and stuff that just hasn't been done. So I wanted to do more rent to rent. And then realised that, you know, from speaking to you, that it wasn't sustainable and it just didn't make sense in the long run, which we obviously spoken about beforehand. Now I'm at the point where I'm pivoting, so trying to get the rent to rents I currently have optimized and, you know, doing as well as I can. Getting the team in place, basically now building the foundation for
scaling the management business.
Going into management.
And just for like anyone watching who doesn't kind of understand the difference, rent to rent is essentially when you rent a property from a landlord and then you rent it out again. Now, this is kind of more popular on like, let's say social media. And it does work, but at scale, it's incredibly hard to do because your margins are quite tight. In terms of like, let's say your rent and bills, let's say it's 500 quid in bills, 1,500 rent. And then you might make, you know, you'll probably average, and ours is also probably like 3 to 3.5K on a property. So your margins are just not massive generally, which makes it very hard to scale. Like when you're just doing it on your own time, it's fine. But when you start to bring in staff, systems, you've got to pay for more software, shit like that, your margins just end up dropping.
They disappear.
So that makes it
you can lose
quite
like
tough.
a couple of properties just in, you know.
Just in staffing costs and software. Like that's exactly where like you lose, like you'll be running like 5 properties, but those 5 properties, you've got to have them running excellently.
It's 2.
You've got to have them running excellently to one, like let's say you're making 700 quid to 1,000 off those properties, which most people don't actually do. Like most people don't hit those numbers in terms of like profit. And that would be interesting. I think what might shock you is, have you got any numbers back from the finance VA yet?
No.
Okay.
So she's done a spreadsheet. So she's worked through, like I said to you, because it's so messy and we've got different companies and stuff. She's trying to get her head around it. So I basically set her up with, I need a spreadsheet, which is like this one, which I'd already have, which we got from the other mentors. And I said, I need something like this where we can input all our expenses and all our revenue, and it will basically spit out. So she's built something, trying to work through it. But now she needs to get,
take time.
Now she needs to get onto zero to work out this setup costs and stuff.
I think, because what we're
close to it.
What you'll realize is that you're probably not profiting as much off of a unit as you thought you were.
Oh no, I could tell you that.
Because like what ends up happening is like, I mean, this is kind of this that goes into finance, but it's like you end up having like, you know, you've got your rent, and then, you know, usually you estimate bills, but then your bills usually end up being more than what you think it is because people use all the electric and gas. And then, you know, you've got your kind of like, those are your direct costs. which is like, you can call that like cost of goods sold.
Yeah.
But your indirect costs will be like your software, I don't know why, like software, insurance, accountancy costs, like all these kind of like indirect costs that you still actually need to run the business.
Yeah.
And then if you mapped that out per unit, you'd be like, actually, I'm only really pulling in X amount per unit.
Adds up.
So yeah, adds up. So that's the finance piece. And obviously we'll continue to work on that. And I think you just need to break down your numbers.
Yeah.
Obviously then we're going to look at the pivot to management. So where are you kind of like, obviously you've built kind of like a landing page, you've built kind of an offer.
Yeah.
Where are you kind of at, like, what next? So where's your questions?
So where I'm at now is I'm sort of in the limbo between, I've still got the rent to rent business.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to transition to management, but not everything is tucked away in the rent to rent stuff. So I'm like trying to do, get into the paid ads and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've still got somebody who's ticking away in the background doing the rent to rent, and you've got to still deal with, like guests.
Yeah.
The meter being cut off because they've installed the wrong one.
Let's break that down first, because I think that's a really, as I said, if I can give you anything today, it's like learn from my mistakes. Because I think the biggest reason that you should work with someone, like have a mentor, is not actually to be like, it's not necessarily always what should you do, it's also what shouldn't you do.
Well, you've already done it, haven't you?
Well, yeah, it's more so like learn from our mistakes again. So you've got the rent to rents, we've got 9. But one of them you own.
One of them I own, and I'm currently buying another house.
So would that bring it to 10?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So we've got,
so it's like a rent to buy SA strategy.
But you've got 8 rent to rents and then one that you buy. So the margin on that, I'm less concerned about that one, because
that's ridiculous.
You're probably making a lot of money on that one. Yeah. Regardless. So you've got the rent to rents. What do you feel right now is still broken in your business that is like on that rent to rent side?
I would say finance, which is why the finance VA is in. So being able to
actually knowing your numbers.
Yeah. Being able to then start assessing the properties, because like you said, there's not much margin. So if you've got a property which is not very good to start off with, and then you've added all this back end stuff, insurance, software, VA, is it better just to cut that? You know, like when you can, just get rid of it, because now you're better off. So the finance, is the big one, I think.
Okay.
Once that's set up, I think it can just get, my attention can be diverted to obtaining clients and plugging them in.
If we were, because obviously we don't have the actual numbers, if you were to guesstimate, how much do you think you're kind of like, what's your operating cash flow roughly, do you think?
So what we pull in a month is we'll do about £30,000 a month in revenue.
Yeah.
I can't even pull it up on the app, can I? So all our properties change quite a lot. Obviously, when I took them on in December, a lot of them. So I took on 4 in December. So they've only been running a couple of months, all through the slow months. So those ones I would, if they're making a couple £100 per month for the last few months, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Moving forward, now we're getting into the better months. Rates are going up now. They've got reviews. They're more established. So I don't know. I really don't know, which is why we fall back into finance.
Yeah. So
that is like the biggest thing for me, really.
So you've got 9 properties.
Yes, correct.
Do you think that they are making more or less, on an average of all of them, £500 a month?
Oh, more.
Okay.
More.
You 100% confident on that?
100%.
Okay, fine.
Because I know at least, obviously one of them's mine.
Yeah.
And I know revenue is 3.5 plus per month, and my mortgage is like £1,300.
Right.
So already.
So you think your cash flow is probably what, 5k? Like I'm just trying to...
I would probably say, I'd say £5,000.
5k, okay.
I would, definitely.
Do you think it's more, like even if we work off 5k, it's fine?
No, I would say, now that they're all set up, I would expect 5k minimum a month.
Okay, fine. And that's kind of like what I'd call operating. So like
Yeah.
what we need to figure out is how do you set everything up? Because so finance is problem number one.
Yeah.
Now we've already hired someone to bring that in.
Yeah.
How much are you paying them?
So she is 850 USD, which is like
600-ish?
670, I think. I don't know. 630.
Let's call it 650, just for like. So that then takes you down to about 350. So you've got all of the finance things. You're kind of bringing in 350 plus you've got insurance costs, software costs, that kind of stuff. What do you think is your next biggest problem besides actually knowing your numbers, which is quite a big thing?
Quite a big thing. Yeah. My whole judgment was the bank's always moved in the right direction.
Yes.
This month was a little bit because, as we spoke about off camera, setting up bills. Yeah. So where I've just been taking them on, getting them, now I'm like, oh, I've set up all the bills, and now you've got all that cost that should have been spread over those months. Yeah. Has here. Now money's coming back in, I'm like, oh, that's okay. Yeah. So I don't actually really know. Because
like what?
Because I've got SuiteOp, you got me to get another software involved, so SuiteOp. So
yeah, but that's a net cash flow adder to the business. That's
because that is doing good money now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that's one I'm not really worried about because it's not a software where like it costs. Obviously, there's certain softwares which cost you money to the business to actually run, whereas SuiteOp is like that directly pays for itself.
Correct. Yeah.
And more. So
but that also deals with a lot of guest communications because you can add the manuals and where a lot of my clients are contractors. Yeah. You know how easy contractors are. They'll just go, oh, that's how you turn the heating on, and then done. So I wouldn't say guest communication. You know, you have the standard problem like the wrong meters being installed and like reactive sort of stuff, maintenance. But
because my question is essentially is like, what do we? If you still feel a bit like about this business right now, is what do we need to do to allow you to pivot over to this? Because the mistake that I don't want you to make that I made is that essentially like you essentially build this all up. So you build up all the regulations, etc. But you've not got it dialed in properly. Because if you then start working on other things, but this is not dialed in, what will then happen is you'll start to see like whatever let's say you think it's £500 a month per unit, you'll slowly start to see that like fade away a little bit because you're not giving it the kind of care and attention it needs. And that's where you kind of have to be like, right, I'm going to make this pivot, but if I'm not at least like, you know, you're never going to be 100%, but if I'm not at least like 90% happy with where most of the things are, you need to fix those problems first before making that kind of pivot over.
Yeah, I mean, I would say finance, obviously the big one. Yeah. And then probably, because mine are all short stays, which I think we've spoken about before. So I'll fill Monday to Friday contractors and then you'll get, weekends. So that is still it's a high turnover, isn't it? So we're good occupancy. We're always 80+%. Okay. So it maybe pricing and maybe trying to go for longer term stays, which would then obviously free me up more to then focus on that.
Okay, so if you've got the pricing and the longer term stays piece, do you actually think that the properties you have equate for longer term stays? Or do you think like, if the system you've got running now is not broken, but like, again, what a finance person will be able to tell you is like, what percentage of your stuff comes from like Airbnb, booking.com versus direct, and then if any other channels you have as well. Because that's a good thing to know. Yeah. Like you should be shooting for kind of at least like 30% direct of like a third.
Oh yeah, we're nowhere near that.
Are you doing anything in that sphere to try and increase your direct bookings?
So we get, obviously you've got your, direct booking link and stuff. Like we'll have a QR code on one of your picture displays. Yeah. Duplicate listings after speaking to you, which I never really get much traction on. Okay. Which I probably need to play around with pricing more on them. Yeah. But then I'm like, it's just not worth it because seasonality, it's like what I can get per night short stay outweighs that month stay, if that makes sense. Yeah. now, obviously in winter, you want the longer stays, don't you? Because it's slower. I don't really know, mate. I'll be completely honest. Okay. I'm very much like, it works as short term.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would be more hands off and you've got a more fixed profit with a long term.
What currently takes the most of your time?
Helping the finance lady get settled in. But once she's settled in, or before she was there, I would probably say guest communications.
Okay.
But a lot of that has now been solved by Suite Op coming in, because you get the occasional message. A lot of mine would be like, how do you work this? How does this work? How do you do the parking? Whereas with Suite Op, so that's taken a lot off, which is why I said to you, now I'm sort of stood and I'm like, this is all ticking away behind me. What do I do now? Like, I'm a little bit like a deer in the headlights, if you like.
Okay. I think obviously the finance stuff is super important, because I think for you really need to know how much you're actually bringing in per unit.
Yeah.
And what your kind of each company is doing, kind of like operating net, etc. Because you'll probably, hopefully you're not in it for a rude awakening, but you might be.
No, I'm quite realistic with stuff. Yeah.
You might not.
I think I'll be surprised. If anything, like a good surprise.
Okay, that's good.
I think.
Okay. Then I think the question becomes of like, do you feel like you can currently handle guest communications yourself, or do you want to outsource that to focus more on client acquisition on the management side of the business?
So I think obviously we know, or I know now, I want to go down the management route.
Yeah.
So for me to do that and to give it my all, because you know how involved it is when you first start, you start paying for ads, getting leads. You need that time and that focus to just go, I need to do this valuation. I need to call them. Yeah. You get a guest call you up and go, the meter's not working. There's no electricity in the flat. That takes 3 hours of your life.
Yeah, it takes 3 hours of your day.
And then, it throws your whole focus and your drive off that, if that makes sense. So, yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly where I am looking out here. Do I feel like I can balance this while taking on these?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So your next move should be hiring someone within guest communications.
Yeah.
But the thing is that this is where it kind of like it is then
it's the circle, isn't it?
It plays on your bottom line at the end of the day. So let's say you bring in, another one at 650, that brings you down to like, I can't.
I mean, it would probably be slightly cheaper than that, wouldn't it? Guest communications, because it's not so specialist.
Yeah, I mean, I think we pay
there or thereabouts, yeah.
But then it's like, if you're going to hire a guest communications VA, you will have to, within that, create a shit ton of SOPs. Which is not a fun job.
No.
But it's super important, because what you'll find is like the way that you handle, like, let's say today what happened with the meter reading for you, the way you handle that, you can't just expect a VA to just
know how to do it. You need to set like, if this happens, do this. If this happens,
and like we've got a whole bank of resources, which like basically is like all of our SOPs, like for our business and our VAs.
Yeah.
Because what the biggest challenge that we find is VAs, even if they're actually really intelligent, are trained kind of like through work, is like they will kind of like, if an issue arises, they will just bring you the problem.
Yes.
And then it's kind of like,
they're like B players, aren't they? Well, like, they can still do the work, but as soon as like a big problem comes, they'll just push it back to you.
They'll bring it back to you, which actually what you need to do is say like, bring me the problem, plus
with options on how to solve.
Plus the solution of like the options.
And then I can just pick A or B.
Yeah, and then you say like, I think A or B. And unless they've got it horribly wrong, you pick the solution. So that's part of like that training and SOP process. The best thing that we have found is like, SOP is just literally just do like a Google Doc or a document or something like that.
I've seen your stuff, like Looms, because I think Loom break them down into...
And then like within those like onboarding pieces, it's like, let's say you have a piece on like, okay, if a guest loses keys, how do you handle that? It's like break it down and then do a Loom video that goes over like, okay, this is exactly what you need to do. Make sure you do, and just the almost the nuances that you don't get by just reading the document.
Yeah.
If a guest is being difficult around X, Y, Z, approach, like, let's say last night, for example, something had been missed by the cleaning team. There was only 4 plates in the flat. And the guest wasn't happy and they wanted a cleaner, like someone to come out and deliver plates.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you handle that if that happens? Do you contact the cleaner first? Do you call out, do you order plates for the next day from Amazon and ship them to the guest? Like, do you, if there's a maintenance issue, do you call out like a emergency maintenance? Who are those contacts? Like all that kind of stuff. You have to map that out. Because that's the biggest thing with outsourcing, especially if you do like kind of cheap outsourcing, if you want to call it this, of like, you're not bringing in like another, like, you essentially. You have to map out those processes. And we definitely made that mistake where we just kind of like brought in a VA and said like, oh, do this stuff. But it was like, okay, how do you do this stuff?
But all this is built over a long time. Do you not find? So you can build the bulk of it, but there'll always be
There will be edge cases, absolutely.
And then you have to add.
Yes, so you have to add,
it's always
absolutely.
adding. My only thing here is I'm traveling more down here. So if I get another guest to handle guest comms, I've got months worth of work, essentially, getting her set up.
Yes.
Where I'm like, hold on.
I know it sucks off.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, do I balance this and get a couple more, like a couple?
No. I know it sucks ass. Like, I know. And it's not, because you are probably just like me. You are.
I'll just do it.
You're an entrepreneur and you want to just go, 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 go. And one of the biggest lessons that I can give you of like me having to eat shit is
I know that
do not go, 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 go.
Yeah. Because
you've gone from 0 to 9/10.
Yeah.
I went from 0 to 50.
Yeah.
And I went from 0 to 30 without having any proper employees.
Yeah.
And then you can imagine how hard it has been to go basically to, like, we spent months, and I tell you months, on building out these processes and actually getting a team dialed in where we were like, we are not even 100% happy, but 80 to 90% happy with how they handle things, and they're good at dealing with guests and that kind of stuff. And it sucks because you have to essentially it's basically like nail it then scale it is what it is. So like you want to instantly, and that's every entrepreneur.
You want to build the foundation, don't you, before building
every
the house.
entrepreneur's instinct is like, I've got this management opportunity. I know actually cash flow has been better. I know I can scale it. I know I can do all of these things. But imagine the scenario that happens that suddenly you pick up 5 more management units. Yeah. You still have no guest communications in the back end. So you then are trying to acquire more clients, managing your 10 properties plus 5 more. Yeah. Plus, then you still have to do all this work because you have to do it eventually.
Yeah.
So it's like all you do is like you kick the can down the road and you create a bigger mess for you to clean up later down the line.
Definitely.
So,
and that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's now cleared it up a little bit. So,
but sometimes you kind of know that.
Can we put a cross by here?
Sure. Sometimes you know that, but you need someone to tell you that of like, you're like, oh, but. And you'll keep getting dragged in that direction.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
and I can tell you, like, the only thing I can tell you is like, take it from me, who's made that mistake. Like, do not do it because it will cause you so much more stress, pain, and agony down the line. Because you were in a position now where it's like you've done the thing of like you've replaced your income, you can kind of live, and you're okay. Yeah, you've done that first bit, which is great. Yeah. But it's like that next bit, when you go that next bit further, it becomes so much easier to then take the management units and plug them in.
Yes.
When you've already built out the SOPs, because then it's like, okay, all right, let's say we onboard a new property, then it goes straight to, so for us now, if we onboard a new property.
It goes straight to a VA.
It goes straight to one of our VAs, who then does the listing, you know, description.
And that in itself takes a lot of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like all of these things that like you're like, oh yeah, like if I say to you like, what do you spend most of your time on? You're almost like, I don't really know. Yeah. Because you're
doing everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like you don't feel like there is one specific thing I'm spending loads of my time on. Yeah. You're just like, I think it's doing it. Like
you've hit the nail on the head there. That is literally, I was thinking about it. You know, like when people say, like, what do you do? And it's like, I just always work.
Everything, always.
I always work. Like,
I don't know.
From when I wake up to like when I go to, I enjoy it, luckily, which I'm sure you do as well. But you're always working, and people are like, do you not do anything else? And it's like, well, yeah, because I don't have all of this here. I'm doing, you get a message that throws your whole day out.
Yeah.
And then
there's certain things at the end of the day, like you can't, like, as much as people say, oh, we'll just let the fire burn. You can let some fires burn, but like if a guest has no power, i.e. like you had this morning, that's not a fire that you just allow to burn.
Yeah, you can't ignore them.
Yeah, you can't ignore it.
In the bud.
And because that's at the end of the day, that's like the baseline foundation of your business.
Of course.
Of like, if you don't provide a good service,
then you're not going to make money.
Your business,
it all crumbles.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I hate this shit. Like that's why I'm saying it with such conviction of like, I hate doing this stuff. I hate it. It's not my skill set at all.
Yeah. Because even with onboarding our finance VA, where I don't know that side of the business and how to like set up, like we're with Zero and stuff like that, I'm like, sort of like, but
like, you almost have to figure it out together.
Correct.
So that
which we're doing, but it's very slow. So she's getting used to Zero.
Yeah.
I've set her a worksheet, like you basically said, worksheet, step by step, work through it.
Yeah.
Once we get one company sorted, so starting with the simpler companies that may have one property in, and all the revenue goes to that bank, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Work through that, and as you sort of, work out Zero, then we can get into like setting up the main management company.
Yeah.
But even that, like you're saying, you're like, right, I'm going to do listing. I need to sort out a listing. And then you'll get an email. Oh, can we jump on a call to sort this out? And you're like, that just throws you. Because then the rest of the day, I'm looking at how I can work out how to get around this problem.
Yeah.
Because she's basically here and she's just brought me the problem.
Yeah. Exactly.
Instead of going, oh, this is a solution. She's just given me a problem,
like,
and
you
now
almost have to like train them to be like, okay, bring me the problem, but also then tell me like, you don't have to actually action the solution.
Yeah.
Because like that's where you kind of get like, that's where you get like self-autonomous. Like people, it's like, okay, they can just action the solution. Like they find the problem, they can action it.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's like, okay, bring me the problem, tell me what you think the solutions are, and either I will tell you yes. Like, kind of like tick, good, do this one, or like, no, neither of those are the right solution. But it creates a much easier flow because otherwise what you end up happening again is just like, where are you doing your communications with her?
So I know we spoke about getting it onto Discord.
Yeah, or Slack. But...
Yeah, currently it's between WhatsApp, which is like a Slack, and just emails.
It's not. Email is not as bad.
Yeah.
I think email, the reason that I would then, like these are all things that we've built, like again, is like, because when you start bringing on more people, is you need to either create like have
WhatsApp's
Slack.
No good.
Slack channels.
Yes.
WhatsApp is it's
like person to person.
It's a consumer to consumer is what I was going to call it.
Yeah.
It's a consumer to consumer communication channel.
Yes. Whereas with like your Discord, you'll have a channel.
I mean, like
which everybody can put into.
Like I have like, I don't know if I can show, but like
this is what I'm saying. This is a learning curve in itself.
But like this is like our Discord, right? And we have a server, and then within that, like finance, we have threads underneath that. We have like direct bookings. We have guest communications. Any issues that happen, maintenance issues, cleaning issues, and it's like it's so much more organized.
So if somebody sees a problem, they can jump into keys problems. And go, I sorted this.
So it's like they'll be like, if the issue is done, they can close the thread. Or it's like if another issue occurs, they can open a thread and be like, blah 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 issue at who needs to be added in the team.
And then
to get it sorted. But it's like you can't like.
No, you can't do that on WhatsApp. That's one big group chat.
I'll screen record it so like Ollie, I can send it to Ollie. But it's like you can't do that on WhatsApp because like you get lost. Like you just lose like there's so many different
you've done
things.
It recently, haven't you?
That's for like the mentoring as well.
But that's keeping track of it.
Yeah, because it's keeping track of it. Because it's like when you have 10 WhatsApp chats, it's fine. You can kind of
when you've got 100.
Not yet, but like even if you've got 50, right? If I'm trying to respond to 50 different people and 50 different, it's too much. And it's like again from there, like we'll have to create threads of like, okay, you're working on this thing now. You're working on this thing. So it's like. You need to be able to have all these different kind of like channels.
Yeah.
And like even with finance, because it will end up being like you create a thread on like, and it's the reason like, because you can use email which, because like you have like an email chain, right?
Yeah.
So you can use email, but like...
And she's got her own work email.
But it's like, what will happen is like, I just find emails a bit...
too messy, because you've got bills, other things.
Yeah, and also it's slow. Like Slack and Discord, the reason like a lot of big companies use these, essentially, is because more so Slack is like proper like, but like Discord's free. So that's why
we like that option.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good. So like it means that you have then instant communications, and it's like a messaging platform, whereas email like...
Yes.
So it's like I can create...
It's geared up differently, isn't it?
Yeah, so I can create 2 different threads on finance. So I could be like profit analysis on XYZ property. And then it might be bookkeeping on... we're just going to call it book. But you know what I mean. Bookkeeping there on XYZ company or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So then you can create threads in Discord or within Slack or whatever you want to use to do that, and get faster responses than just like doing it all via email. So this is the kind of stuff that I would work to, like, I would start to build on, like, you don't have to bring on like 3 VAs. Like we have, how ours works is we have 3 VAs, like guest communication VAs. So I'll kind of like, I'll map out what our like structure looks like to give you a bit of guidance there. So like, let's say you have like our tree, which is like, we're just going to call it me and then my mum, which sits at like, let's say that sits at the top of the tree. Like we have a relatively flat like organizational structure. So we have, we've got finance, so we've got a finance guy, then we have a marketing girl, and then we have, call it our like...
head VA.
Yeah, head VA, head of ops, whatever you want to call it. So I'll call them like, I'll say head of ops, head of operations. And then underneath him, there is 3 VAs. So like, we'll just call it guest comms 1, guest comms 2, and guest comms 3. So they all sit underneath him, which means essentially that like any issues first will flow to him before they flow to us. And he's at the stage where he can almost actually, like, they should bring problems and solutions and he can make decisions on those. So that then alleviates both of these things to begin with. And then on top of that, we've trialed different things in the past in terms of like acquisition, stuff like that. Eventually what we brought someone in from the UK who was basically, we call it BD, so business development. So they were trying to basically get us like B2B bookings. So like more contractors, more direct.
How'd that work out?
It was the wrong hire. Like it was the right role. Like it was the right job role.
You said the UK.
But it was the right job role, but it was the wrong person.
Yeah.
And within that,
so I guess they would do like reach out to local companies or companies working.
Yeah, exactly. Like so, they're really trying to get direct bookings. Now, that's someone you only need to bring on a little bit later when you've got more stock. I'm not worried about that. Because like if you're paying them, let's say like $3K a month, they need to be able to make back that. You know, you need to be able to add value to your company.
Business,
But like what I would do for you to begin with is I just essentially you would want to build out like one VA here. So you've got finance.
Yeah.
You don't need marketing at the moment. Is one VA here who can be like your operations staff, and then they can do stuff as well, like onboarding.
Yeah, that listings, stuff like that.
Yeah, listings.
With the marketing, what do they actually do?
So this is more like website.
Oh, fine.
So the marketing person does like website. There is so.
Because I was looking at it from like
so they do well. The website is there to generate more direct bookings.
Yes.
But they also help with like SEO ranking and listing optimization as well. But to be honest, you don't need that to begin with. But you could get them to like onboarding, listings, guest communication, stuff like that as well, and kind of bring that all in. And then eventually, when they're upskilled enough and you're happy with them, then you can kind of start to put people underneath. But that comes with more properties that you then need more people, because we have these guys work.
They can all have a property each.
No, we have like they do 2 shifts a day.
Yeah.
So one works from.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, English time and then Filipino time.
Like one works from like 9 till either 9 till 5 or 9 till 6. I don't even know.
English time?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then one does the evening shift of like, I think it's 5 till 10. That's what it is. So one does 9 till 5 and then one does and then we just say on all of our listings, like communications past 10 p.m. like basically don't really get answered. Like we just say like, these are our hours. Like if you're checking in or after these times.
So how do you actually, I know that's probably a little bit off, but how do you go about that? Because I got a call at like 10:30 last night. And because I'm so involved,
but that's where you like
hello.
See, that's where you almost have to like take it away. It's like you should have an escalation channel for like the house is on fire, but like
999.
In that scenario, like that could have waited till the morning.
Yeah.
Like so, you can still have that escalation channel if needed.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary.
No. But how do you find that works with? Because you know what guests are like. With reviews, stuff
I think it definitely doesn't like. It's the same as like we've had some negative reviews about like sweet op and damage deposits.
Yeah.
We get some reviews about stuff like this, but it's like overall it just makes your life so much easier.
Yeah.
And you sleep better at night. Yeah. That like it's worth it. And you just again, it's about setting expectations. If you make it clear that they're gonna have to pay a deposit, and you make it clear saying like communications after 10 p.m. You know, if there is something going on, if you are checking in after 10 p.m., please make us aware prior to arrival. Because like, I'm assuming the thing that happened yesterday, were they a guest that had checked in already? Or
no, so they've been there. It's when I was doing my pricing and they secured a nice booking on booking.com for a month at a very good price, which not ideal for me, but it's a property that's taken off my hands for a month. So she's been there for probably 3 weeks.
Yeah, so in that scenario, like, whether you sort it, because you've sorted it out quickly, like the next morning, it's like whether you do it 6, 7 a.m. or 10 p.m., like it doesn't really make a difference. If it doesn't bother you, then it's not the end of the world. But it's like, that's the kind of stuff of like, again, like at least 99% of it is outsourced. And then we just make it very clear, like if you're checking in after these times, you have to make us aware because we don't have someone like on call.
Yeah, we don't operate,
you know, because like, realistically, like 10 p.m. is quite late. Like most people don't work till 10 p.m.
But then again, that's why like software like Sweet Op, you've got your checking.
That's why you need to, exactly. Like you should have most of those processes on like, again, you're going to have edge cases where shit happens.
Yeah, the door doesn't unlock or the key's snapped.
Like, but then even then, like we still have had like stuff where it's gone on quite late into the evening and like our team is like, they won't just like clock off if like an issue happens. Like, so they're very good about that kind of stuff. So I would for you is like try and hire like some form of guest communications VA or operations person. And, you know, your two main jobs really is training the finance person and like not even like really training them, but like understanding your finances.
Yeah.
And like understanding them. So you've got clarity on what your units are actually doing.
Because once it's set up, it will be very hands off. She will basically be in charge of everything. She'll just need to provide me the information each month. Like you mentioned, you'll just get sent P&Ls for the month or whatever.
Yeah, and then you need to bring in someone who could do guest communications. Yeah. Because what you'll eventually find is that everything takes longer than you want it to.
Yes.
And it's always a slower process.
Yeah.
So
that's life though, isn't it? I think you're sold this dream of like, I mean, you're very realistic, but people online and they're like, oh, 3 months and you'll be sorted. And you're like, no, it takes 3 months just to get me here or whatever. Like 3 months is so small.
Yeah, but then like you look back on the 3 months and you're like, wow, a lot of change in that 3 months. I see that all the time, like week to week. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Just want to kill myself. Like this is so much effort and like nothing's changing.
Well, never. You got that on camera.
but then like month to month.
Yeah.
Quarter to quarter.
Yeah. You can look back and go, wow.
Like I even look back of like where I was January this year.
Yeah.
Versus where I am now at the end of March nearly.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, we've made some big steps in like certain places.
Yeah, and I think if you can't do that, you're definitely not moving quick enough.
Yeah, but then if
if you're looking back at your last quarter and going,
nothing changed.
Yeah, like.
But then week to week, you will feel like,
nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening. Yeah. And that's the position
you just got to zoom out.
Yeah, that's the position you're in right now where you're like, oh, I want to get this management business started. I really want to get that kind of moving.
But I need all this sorted. I need to finish what I've started.
Yes, exactly. And not even like, well, like stabilize. You need to stabilize it to the point where actually like,
and also this is just practice really for this.
Because, but what it will do is it will make your delivery of this better.
Yeah, of course, because you've got more at risk doing rent to rent. As you know, like you still need to pay your rent,
your bills. Yeah.
Software, like you still need the money. A VA now, wherever we're at here.
VA,
somewhere
there's one there and then there's a finance one there.
Yeah, so like all of this needs to be done. So this needs to be working as good as it can.
Yeah, and then you get leverage from it because eventually like, they won't just manage your 9 properties, they'll manage 20.
Yeah, like our finance VA, she's full time. Like on 9,
but
she's going to be twiddling her thumb soon.
Like she'll also be on.
That's what I'm saying. So if we bring these people in, yes, there's a lot of work, a lot of shit to eat up front. Yeah. But after a couple of months, once they're settled in and all the training's been done, it's like, right, now we've got room to take on 5 more.
Yes.
10 more, 20, 50 more, 40 more.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, these are the 2 things that you really need to work on, because I think the biggest mistake that you will end up doing is doing this pivot too quickly.
Yes, which I can definitely, I can see that.
Because as much as you will want to make that pivot, your
time's not right.
Yeah, because like what will end up happening, let's say you take 5, 10 more management units on, like, okay, it adds to your bottom line and you make more money, but then you're going to be running around like a headless chicken and then you're still going to have to do these things.
And it all then takes a lot longer because you're all still doing this while also trying to do this.
Yeah, because then you have to deal with the landlords, then you have to deal with acquisition, you have to deal with like all these kind of things. It's like, and then what will happen is actually, again, we made this mistake, is then you start churning out clients. Yeah. Because your delivery is not good enough.
Yeah, so you're just,
So then you've like put in all this work to get the customer.
And you're losing them.
And then 3 months, 6 months later, you're losing them. And the reason the management models works so well is because of, I'll write it down here, but it's LTV. Do you know what that means or?
No.
So
that's a flooring. That's this flooring.
No, not in my world. Oh, okay. Not in my world. LTV stands for lifetime value.
Yeah.
So essentially, like, if you can, if a management client that you're making 500 quid a month churns out after 6 months, you only make 3K off them. But if they stay for 12, you make 6K.
Yeah.
So the longer you can essentially retain the customer, you essentially double the value of the customer.
Because keeping them, then you don't have all of this stuff, the onboarding, listing.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to. So it's like you're, they say cost to acquire a customer or cost per acquisition or whatever.
Yeah.
Is like, say it cost you, we'll do 500 quid.
Yeah.
Like roughly, is like this. That would mean that what's the ratio on that? 6 to 1, right? So you'd make 6 back off the 1 so you spent essentially. But this is 12. So like your ratio becomes a lot better. And it's like it requires less work because once they're in the delivery system,
they're set up.
Yeah. But
obviously the longer they're in it, the better your reviews, your listing, everything, and then it just all gets easier because it almost sells itself.
Exactly.
So I think where I'm at now with you is breaking these sections down more.
Okay, so how to do it.
Yeah, because it's great. I know what I need to do. It's now how.
Fine.
Next whiteboard, please. I don't get to keep it.
No, this is mine, not yours.
Gutted.
So we'll start with finance and then move over to guest communications. So finance, it's actually it's almost relatively simple in a way. It's like what you need is you need, what we have, or like what you should do is like you should have basically a kind of operating P&L per property.
Yeah.
So this would essentially be what is, I'm going to call rent plus bills plus any maintenance costs plus software, insurance, etc. So all those weird letters, but all of that. And then you should be like, okay, what are you making per property? So that's like your operating income.
Yeah.
So how much does it cost you to actually operate the property?
That's what I'm saying. Gets messages right now, and you're
exactly.
like,
Exactly.
Yeah. I threw you off, sorry,
It's thrown me off because
that's what I mean.
No, but it's just, exactly. But like, it's
throws
stuff
you
like,
off.
But it's stuff like, I also think like, bro, we need more body wash. Like, buy your own. Like, you're not like.
Yeah. No, but that has just proven what we've just spent. How long have we been here?
Half an hour? I don't know.
Half hour talking
How long
about.
have we been doing it, Ollie?
Like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You get one message, and that's
it
just
just
we've
scrambles your
lost
whole-
that
yeah.
whole. We've just had 45 minutes of work and 2 seconds. I didn't even read it. I just see the name.
No,
and the
I saw it. They
notification.
said like, oh, I need body wash.
Did she?
Yeah, that's what she said. She was like, we need more body wash.
Need more body wash in the bathroom, please. I think it's running out. Would you? I didn't even read it. I see the notification. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's like, then you're gonna have to either go to your cleaner or you're gonna have to order more, or like, and then suddenly you spent half an hour doing that instead, and you've broken the working flow.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you need.
Like I've done to this meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. But you need to know essentially what is your operating income per property, and that's where I think that you'll be when you say pleasantly surprised. I think it'll probably be the other way. Where
I don't know. I've got really low expectations for it.
maybe if you're like, they're going to make 200 quid a month, then maybe like, then, but you need to know that first. Essentially, what's your operating income per property? And have that reported on a monthly basis. Then you should have essentially cash flow per company. So that is literally like essentially every single expense broken down. So there's like income, then you have, essentially, your big costs would be like rent, again, bills, kind of essentially these ones. But then you've got like your indirect costs, which might be like parking. It might be, I don't know, accountancy, staff, whatever, like, just like whatever additional costs, like literally expenses that run through your bank account.
Yeah.
That don't kind of fall into these categories. And then you'll have like a cash flow, like you'll have basically a net cash flow at the end of the month of like, okay, how much is being brought in on that particular company. So that's super important, because then you'll start to see like, okay, actually net, I am making, if we said it was 500 per property, you've got 3 in there. So it's like, you're making, your operating here would be like, that would be like 1,500 for a company. And this is where, it goes into the whole debate of like management versus rent to rent. But then it's like, because like that is not high for one company, but, and then it's like, okay, you bring all this stuff factor into play. Suddenly you might be at 1,000 net. So then if you divide that by 3, so then you do an average of your property net per property, you're only making, this is 3, these are all hypothetical numbers, but you'll break it down for yourself. So that's what you really need per kind of like company. Because that's like the truest form of like how much came in versus how much came out. Because like with booking.com, with refunds, with shit like there's all kind of stuff that like you end up losing money that you don't even realize that you've lost. So if you just have this higher level overview, you kind of miss it. So at the end of the day, I'm not an accountant, so I can't give you like the overview. But this is
I've got one of them.
This is what we do within that. Because then you'll start to realize.
And you do this via spreadsheets.
Yeah, and then he does it in spreadsheets, and then
fine.
But it's like
so he'll provide you a spreadsheet and go like, this is the number.
Yeah, usually what we get him to do is like put it onto a document and then do a bit of analysis. So it's not like that you're like looking through a spreadsheet and you're like, oh my god, I can't even understand these numbers. But then it's like you realize like, okay, if I'm only making 333 net per property, is that worth it? And then you realize like, oh, actually, it's only worth it at scale. And then it's like, oh, I've got to bring stuff into scale, and like it goes back into the whole thing. So that's what you need to do with her. The bookkeeping side of things, I'm less worried about, because she can do your books and you just send that to your accountant.
So she's currently on Xero. Which is what's linked to my accountant. So she's basically going to reconcile the receipts, but we're breaking it down inside of Xero as well, because the management company has it operates 10, but 5 properties, the money flows through that one account.
Right.
And then we've got a holding company that will pay the profits to. Yeah. You get the company structures. No?
No, I do, but I just hate that shit.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm worried about, because I'm like, right, all the other properties are in separate companies. So from Airbnb, they go straight to that bank. So they're easy to sort.
No, so what I would do then is like, we have a cash flow per company.
Yeah.
And then I just have an overall. So have a high level overall one.
Because I want to see what each property, because with rent to rent, you know your initial money in.
Yeah, so you want to look at the ROI as well.
Correct. I want to know when I've got that money back.
Unless you do it so how you can do that is either so you've got your operating P&L here.
Yeah.
And then either you basically look at okay, you take your net costs. So if you've got a cash flow per company, then take your net costs and then you do your averages after that. So you take your net costs, that's for the company, that's for that month. The average is 333 per property. Or what you do is you do this operating income here, but then you add okay, these were our costs. So let's call it your total costs on top of that, which are your net costs, whatever you call it, was, in this case, it's 500 quid. And then you can divide that by the number of properties. So divide that by whatever it is. Divide that by the number of properties to get your per property number. And then you would add that in to your operating income statements here. So
I see.
So then it's okay, because what you might find is
we've broken it straight. I've basically started getting her to break it directly in Xero, because then you can just pull P&Ls each month.
Yeah.
Which is, again, it's a lot of setup at the top. There's a lot of nothing. There's a lot of stuff happening that you can't see anything. But once it's set up, because Xero's linked directly to the bank, she'll just drag and drop into each.
Because that's what you need to do.
So long term,
you'll then start to see because on this basis you might see the company's profitable. But
I need to know what.
But you should be looking per property. Because you might actually see here one is bringing in 1,000 a month.
Yeah.
One's bringing in 500 and one's bringing in 0.
Yeah.
It's okay, drop that one because actually, realistically, per property, that's just costing you money. So that's what you can start seeing as well.
Yeah.
But you would almost have to you'd have to do this total number, because some of these costs, you might have one business, you run most of your parking account, all the extra cost, you might run it through one business or whatever. So you need to do a total number to get that per property number, and then you can kind of assign it backwards. So we then have a total of let's just call it company 1, 2, and 3, right? You add all of those together to get your total revenue, your total whatever, and then you do a total cash flow per company. Not per company, sorry, total cash flow of the group structure. Then you figure out that per property number, then you can kind of assign it back to here.
Yeah. And I think this is probably the hardest job role to set up, because like you said, none of us are accountants. I can tell you what I want, but how you get there is the problem. That's the hard bit of trying to get
how you get there is you have to just
slowly
you have to work. You can't there's literally there's nothing I can show you right now of this is exactly.
No, because you do it one way, I'll speak to somebody else, they do it another way, I want to do it this way.
Yeah.
Everybody does it differently. We just want this number.
Yeah.
But I've got A to
you just have to understand the logic behind
it
of what you want.
Yeah.
Does that clear that up? Any more questions?
Yes.
Fine.
Time to the body wash. Should we talk about setting up the guest comms? Because I guess that's more work on my end, isn't it? To get it to a point where you can hand it over, because you've got so many scenarios that you've got to basically go through.
I mean, the best thing you could probably do is first thing is just steal our templates of a lot of our SOPs, because
Perfect, done. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, there you go. End of it.
Speak to you soon.
Because that will already give you a lot of the potential scenarios. Then what I would do is basically document, demonstrate, duplicate.
Yep.
So you document everything for her. So this could either be a Google Doc, a sheet, a Notion dashboard, whatever your preference is, right?
Yeah.
But somewhere where, we'll call it a Google Doc, but somewhere where you document all the information, you have it written down. Then demonstrate is like, I would literally I would do Loom videos over the Google Doc, and then I would also do real-time training. So one of the best scenarios that you can do is literally do working sessions is what I like. Does he say that? I don't actually know.
Yeah, they do all the sales call stuff, don't they? They do the role play.
Yeah, role play. But what I mean, when I say working sessions, I don't mean role play. I mean actually literally you are sat there on a meeting with her or him or whoever it is, and then you're just screen sharing, and you're going through you literally pull up that message you've had, and you go through exactly on the call, record the call of exactly how do I handle this scenario? What would I do? And that's how you demonstrate. Because the best way they can learn, even if it's via Google Doc, even if they watch the Loom video, the best way they can learn is actually have real-time working scenarios of this is happening right now, this is how we're going to solve that. And you just, again, you record it, and then it goes back because you're documenting it. So this is what we've done with a lot of okay, this is how I would build out a description. This is how I would deal with a guest who's got a key issue in place, whatever. All that kind of stuff, and set up the kind of documents and processes. Do you run spare lockboxes for all your properties?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say
I literally had that issue yesterday. My cleaner went, took the key with him, which he's never done. And the guest turned up just after he left. And we've got a spare one, so luckily they're in there. But all you got to. You can't not.
A lockbox fails or.
The only issue I'm having with one of the properties is lockbox location.
Okay.
So building management being a bit difficult on where you can put it. So I've currently got it on somebody's house opposite the...
What, did you just ask if they can...
I just pay him £15 a month. But it's £15 I don't want to be paying for a metal box on the wall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what else can you do?
I've actually got a lockbox in my car with an Apple AirTag. And I'm going to screw it to a wall and just see if it goes walkies. That's how that's my operational. I'll document it.
I mean, maybe you could. Have you used Keyness before? That's quite good.
It then just ties back to your operating times. Contractors are, if they're traveling.
We've only had it. We only would do it if it's a 24/7.
You've got one in this building, haven't you? Essays.
Yes.
Where's the key boxes? Because this is
out front.
Well, you just screwed them to the wall. They're okay with it. Or slightly different setup, though, isn't it? With your.
Yeah, I mean we've got, but we've just got them. They're not on the wall; they're on a fence. But
okay, fine.
You'll see them when you walk out the building. But real time.
Always running spare lockboxes.
Real time working sessions. Just go through So I would literally have them sit down and go through okay, this is this scenario. This is how I would handle it, and then you do it the other way around. So you hop on a call, issue blah comes up, whatever it is, and then you let her
Operation Body Wash.
Operation Body Wash.
Yeah.
You let them handle it, and then you just give them instant feedback loops.
Yeah, fine.
So you just.
Oh, I see. So I can go go on uplisting.
No, so you let her
this message.
You let her handle it, and then but then instantly you cut it at the source.
Yeah.
So instead of if she's about to make a mistake, you say no, actually do this.
Yeah.
And you just go through that again and again and again, because what you'll find is otherwise they'll go out and do it, and then they might do it wrong.
Yeah.
So it's if you give them instant feedback, then they know exactly okay, not to do that again in future. And then eventually you just allow them to do it. But
so with this setup, as you know, when you're running a rent-to-rent business, you're very you want good guest reviews. You want you want to go above and beyond because you need that money coming in. You need those reviews. You sort of bend and twist depending on the guest.
Yes.
So where one guest may be oh, the fridge has stopped working.
Yeah.
It's broken. Some guests, this is a real situation.
scenario.
I just dropped a fridge off and was like, oh, like it's out of our hands. I've provided you a fridge. Whereas other guests may want, you know, this isn't good enough. I want to leave.
Yeah.
Where at the moment you sort of, you know, go and twist and sort of bend to what the guests want. When you have systems, you have like procedures.
I think what you have to start doing, and that's when you go from smaller to bigger.
Yeah.
And like proper processes is you have to accept that you can't please everyone.
Yeah.
And this is where you should have SOPs of like what, like i.e. like a refund, like what warrants a refund, what doesn't. And like, again, you will always have escalation cases, but that's where you need to come back to them and say like, drill them on, you bring me problems, you know, plus potential solutions.
Yeah.
Don't just bring me the problems. And then it's like, again, they'll start to kind of understand. But to begin with, you won't be able to give them that autonomy of like, hey, just make this decision.
Yeah.
And then eventually, once they're trained,
once they've done it a few times, they'll because they're all pretty much the same situation, aren't they? With guests, it's always like a property was dirty.
It's like exactly
clean. Like, okay, this is what we do. We offer you a clean.
Yeah, it's like
the first night refunded or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you just start creating like actual, like instead of you making those decisions in the second, you have to like write it down. And that's where it comes to this part first. You have to write it down of like, in this scenario, this is what we do. And just go through it.
Yeah.
Again, I would say like use our templates as like
definitely.
That will start to give you like, okay, this is
and then just build on that.
Then build on that for like how you want it to be.
Yeah, because I think that's where I'm struggling at the minute.
Is you don't even know where to start.
Well, it's not that. Every guest you have to handle so different. So this week's been quite an interesting week. So I've had contractors, which are normally like,
quite easy,
the house could be on fire and they wouldn't even tell you. They'd be like, oh, great stay, thanks, mate. Like, what do you mean? The ceiling's collapsed. But this contractor, like, the beds, moaned about the beds, moaned about this, moaned about that. Door was broken. Everything was a problem. None of which were actually a problem. Like, he was just moaning about the beds. Yeah. We bought a mattress topper. He didn't use the mattress topper. He got locked outside the property. The door's broken. I sent a locksmith. Door wasn't broken. Like, do you know what I mean? All these things where you go above and beyond for a guest, when if you have all this in place, it's like, well, okay, fine, we'll send a locksmith out. If the door's like not broken, you are charged 150 quid.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm currently doing stuff like that because I want the good review.
But those are the kind of things that eat into like your margins. Correct, that you won't think about. And and you can cut this because I don't need this going public. But like, that's why management is nice, because like, in all honesty, you can give a bit less. You can give a bit less of a shit.
Well, no, because like 100%, because you don't have 10 grand that you need to make every month.
Yeah.
For rent, bills. Yeah. Like, if you had no bookings, you would have an upset client.
Yeah. Worst case scenario. That's it. Yeah, you deal with it.
Yeah. Like a slow month, or like I had a booking yesterday, somebody booked for the weekend.
Yeah.
He wasn't aware that there was a deposit, even though it's in the listing. He's like, oh, well, can you cancel? And I'm like, well, no, because you're not entitled to a refund. Like, you can cancel, but it's having those rules. Like, if I really wanted that review or not a bad review, I'd have been like, oh, there you go. But you just lose that money. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, but that's where you have to build those processes. And one of the things that's definitely benefited us is the fact that we've got multi-units, so we get a lot of reviews on stuff. It means that we kind of just like suck it up with some of the bad ones. We're like, fuck off. Yeah.
Some of the reviews people leave are just mind-boggling.
Yeah, but this what you need to do first, before like anything else, is just like go through that and really sit down for like a day.
Yeah, because this stuff for me is a lot easier because it's stuff I do day to day.
Yeah.
So it's quite easy. Like, I can record that conversation and go like, this is how we're going to handle it, you know. Whereas with the finance stuff, I think that's where I've probably now got to where I was like, I'm just stood and I'm like, what do I do? Because she's getting paid.
Yeah.
but I don't really know how I can help guide her to get to that point. I just know what I need, and she knows what I need. Yeah. She's working on it all.
Just keep, you know what I mean? Keep a very tight, like keep connecting with her like every day, every other day. Yeah. Just because one of the things again that we've probably made a mistake on is like, otherwise they'll go off and do things and then you won't understand the logic of how they're building the sheets or getting back to the numbers that you want or whatever it is. And that again can cause some issues.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I'll call you next week. Got another problem. Yeah, that's it. So I think set up the VA. Yeah. Get her set up, the finance lady, get the numbers, and then we know what numbers I have to recruit.
Well, it looks like you're fairly confident that you already have the numbers. Yeah. And I feel like this is something you already need. Like, I don't think there's really an option here. Yeah. Because otherwise, like,
body wash won't get refilled.
You'll never be able to scale or build out the business. No.
Because I'm stuck in it.
Yeah, you'll just be like, you just get stuck. Yeah, you're just kind of like stuck in the muck of like dealing with shit. So yeah.
Summed it up, mate. Summed it up. The trenches, we'll call it. You like talking about shit a lot. Just eating shit and playing in shit.
I know you just have to go through. You have to go through a lot of shit to kind of get to the other end, and it never like even for us now, there's still loads of shit that we have to solve.
That's what people don't understand. Like, it doesn't get easier, you just get better.
Yeah, in a way. I mean,
What, it gets easier?
No, definitely doesn't. But like, you just you get better in terms of like,
you get more skills and everything.
The outcomes. But like, does it like...
Does you just level up?
No, but when I say like, when I think better, I feel like, does it feel better? No, not always.
Because like, you're looking at this and going, oh, like, this is quite easy. But for me, I'm looking at this and going, that's like 3 months that I've got to commit just to basically be in the same position. Whereas you're like, no, you need to do this.
I think it's more so like, because it's the stuff that I wish someone had sat me down when I had 10 units and said this to me. And like said it to me as clearly as I said it to you.
I've seen your video about...
Oh, like, don't make this mistake. Yeah. Because otherwise, like I said, it will cost you 6 months instead later down the line, which is what it has for us.
Yeah. It's just annoying all the timings. Finally got sold on the management, and then it's like, oh yeah, summer's here, and it's like, no, still work on your rent to rent. It's like, oh.
No, yeah, but that's exactly, that's the kind of like, that's the discipline.
The girl in the red dress, just ignore her.
It's the discipline you have to have, because again, I think everyone says like, oh yeah, my to get to where I am at now was so easy. I just did this, and did this. It's like, no, actually, like the part of the, as I said, part of the kind of support is like actually telling you like what you shouldn't do.
Yeah, like you should stop taking on units, which you said to me straight away.
Yeah, because I've seen it play out in my own life, and I know that it made it more stressful, not better. Because it's like you keep adding more revenue.
The workload, but not...
You keep adding more revenue and more workload, but your bottom line and your processes don't increase that much. And it becomes kind of like this skewed thing of like, you're increasing
sort of just following it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's you're kind of like increasing your revenue, like you're incrementally increasing your profit, but not to the level of like...
It should be.
What you should be doing.
Yeah, like just bringing Sweet Op in as well.
Yeah,
I think so far we've done like 650 quid.
Exactly, that pays for your finance VA already.
Well, pays for the software and pretty much pays for her.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't even need to worry about the properties. No, but like, do you know what I mean? Like the properties are essentially, you've just broken it up. Like Sweet Op covers itself and the VA. The properties cover X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, and it's like, you're in the position now, like if your costs are so low, you don't have to pay yourself anything.
This is why I'm doing it.
It's the perfect time to build the foundations really clearly. Because everyone thinks that scaling is taking on more, but actually scaling is almost like going back to the foundational stage to have the strong enough foundations to scale.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, because like you see, most companies like don't fail because they, most companies don't fail in principle. They fail because they grow and then they can't like keep up with that growth, and then it's like they went into an office that was too big, or they took on too many like you see, like you said earlier off camera, is like you take on, you know, you get someone who goes from 0 to taking on 4 units. So like they've suddenly given themselves a rent bill of like, let's say 5 to 7 or 8K from like nothing, and then it's like, and then they break the system and then it fails because it's actually like they didn't, like, it's like you've learned the foundation of like having 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, but then it's like, okay, you need to learn the foundations of having 10 units to then go to 30 and then go to 50.
Yeah, I'm at that good mark now where 10, you know, like from going from 10 to 20 with the right systems is going to be nothing.
It won't be hard because like you can pick up those, like you can pick up the units fairly easy, but it's like you need to have the foundational.
That's the fun bit. That's why I want to get to it.
No, it is the
getting
fun
the units so fun. You're exactly the same. You're like, you just want to get in, get involved.
Yeah, but that's what you're saying is like you're thinking like, yeah, I just want to scale. Which like, yeah, you do. Like the scaling is the fun bit, and it's like like you are probably also just more like that way inclined as am I in terms of like sales, marketing, acquisition, speaking to people.
Yeah.
But like I said, is like otherwise what happens is you've got to like, there's a stage of like, you learn the foundation of how do you manage 1 unit? What softwares and systems do you need there? So that's like 1. And then it's like, okay, so then it's 5 or then it's 10. Like I don't know exact numbers, but it's like at different stages, then it's like, okay, there's different you've learned the foundational principles of how to manage uplisting and how to use Airbnb, booking.com and use the softwares.
Not booking.com. Not booking.com. I don't think anybody knows how to use booking.com.
You've got those foundational principles.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, the next foundational principles you need to build is like, okay, how do I hire staff? How do I train those staff? Correct. How do I put systems and processes in place so that the properties are less of an issue?
And that's a learning curve in itself.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then it's like, oh, okay, then I learn the like foundational acquisition systems of like, how do I bring in more properties? And then once you get to 30, 40, 50, whatever it is, then the next step is, I'll tell you when we get there. Or like I'll tell you the, like.
Yeah. No, to be fair, that makes a lot of sense because you'll relate when you first get uplisted. You're like,
what the fuck is this?
Yes. Like, what's going on? Like, where's this section? Whereas now, like, if you need to change something, you just know where it is. I'm at this stage where I'm like, what the fuck? What do I tell her? Like, what does she do? Like, how do I, like, even hiring, I was like, what the fuck? What do I do?
How do I know if someone's good?
That's what I said to you, wasn't it? That's what we had the meeting. I was like, how do I even know? And then
But the thing is also like, it's about like pattern recognition. Like you don't know.
Yeah.
Like I've like hired like salespeople recently and it's like, how many have I gone through? Maybe 6 or 7. And I've got like 2 that I'm fairly happy with now.
Yeah.
Because like it becomes like, eventually you realize like, this is like this trait, this thing, like these are all important pieces.
Yeah, you remind me of the other person.
Exactly. It's like, but it's like you remind me of XYZ good trait, or you remind me of XYZ bad trait. And it's like stuff like that. And it's like, it's also holding standards. Like I said, I've been trying to hire salespeople. And like there was one guy, and it sounds so basic when like, if I were to say it to you, but it's like, there was one guy and I quite liked him. He was quite like, I thought he would have been a good salesperson, but he sent me a message, we booked a call, and then he ended up cancelling the call, like not last minute, but fairly last minute, because he went on to a different offer. Then he came back to me like a month later and said like, are you still looking for somebody? Which I was. So I had this bit in me, I was like, I know he could be quite good. So like I wanted to, but then I was like, actually, no. I've got to hold the principles. Yeah. But that's a lot easier. It's a lot easier said than it is done.
Yeah,
especially when you're because when you're in that thing of like, fuck, I need a finance person, or I need a guest communications person, or I need a salesperson, or I need this or that, and you're like, oh my god, like I just need somebody. But then like the worst, like
not that person.
But like for example, like when we hired our business development guy, that was kind of like a sales role. We were so kind of desperate to bring someone in. And at the time, like, we weren't getting the best applicants and stuff like that. So we hired the guy who had the interview who we thought was like, he was the best out of what we got. But that was the wrong hire. And then actually that set us back probably another 3 months.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing worse than a wrong hire, because then you spend all this time training them, you update them in the systems, and then actually like, I don't know when he joined. I think he joined August and then ended up leaving in like November. And then it's like, that set us all the way back. It's like, actually, he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And one of the things I would say a big principle is you don't have to be the best at anything, but you need to at least, to hire someone, you need to, except finance and like really specialized stuff, because that's a bit like, you need to know what good looks like.
Yeah.
If you are trying to hire, and this is again the mistake that we made, is like, I don't think we really knew what good for this role looked like.
Yes.
So we were kind of saying, like, we have this problem. This is a thing that we want to fix. We want to get more B2B and direct bookings. Here you go. And like, that works if you've got like someone who's like elite levels. But the problem is like, for the sizes of our businesses, you're not hiring someone who's like, you're not paying them 300K a year, and they're going to come in and just kill it.
Yeah.
You know.
Got me nervous now. That's exactly what I've done with the finance VA.
No,
I'm like,
no.
This is what I need. Do it.
No, finance is a bit different.
See you in 3 months.
But that's where you have to kind of stay on top of them.
Yes.
Like, these were just all mistakes that we made. It's like, finance and stuff that is like a bit more specialized, of like, you can understand what the good of the logic looks like that you need to see. But here it was like, we kind of just
I know what I need. I just don't know how you get there.
Yeah,
whereas you was the same.
Yeah, but like the thing is like we were like, oh, I know what I need, but like we just kind of gave it to him and kind of let him do his thing, and it just didn't work at all. So yeah, that was a interesting learning experience.
Lesson learned.
And I think like when it comes to hiring like UK employees and stuff like that, you have to kind of I think you probably have to overpay what you want.
Oh yeah, massively.
And not even to like we were offering like I don't know, maybe 30, 40K a year salary, but you have to like, if you want people who, because you're probably operating at XYZ level, and then if you drop down to like someone who's a graduate or like someone who's on a 30K a year salary, like you're not paying yourself 500K a year because at the moment you're not worth that or like anything, but it's like you need to bring someone in who operates at a high level.
Yes.
And you actually probably have to pay them a lot more than you want to, like even that maybe you can afford to, because actually, so either
in the long run they'll bring that back in theory.
But that's the part again that you have to eat shit when it comes to the business, because it's like
it's scary, isn't it?
You're constantly having to either reinvest back into personnel or stuff like that to like get to that next level.
Yeah. There we are. So now I've got some body wash to fill up. So I'm going to drive 3 hours to go fill up some. I'm joking.
But that's the kind of shit like that where I just like, I don't care anymore. Like I don't. I'd like, oh, get your own body wash. Leave me alone.
But that's where I'm like, so, because you still want to use your reviews and stuff for when I do pivot to management. So it's like, you've still got to hold on, even though you're like, it's not good for me. You know, like, luckily I've got somebody locally. You know, I can just be like, drop a bottle of fucking soap off to them. Yeah. They check out tomorrow morning. Like, just drop them a bottle of soap off. Just for that 5-star review. But once you start having clients and you've got their testimonies, your reviews sort of go on the back burner, if that makes sense, because they're looking at like, he's got 40 clients. Yeah. He obviously knows what he's doing. Yeah. Whereas starting, because I've got quite a good
But you've at least got like a base to start from.
Yeah, I've got a good base. I don't want to ruin it now in the months leading up to.
No, I wouldn't, but it's definitely one of them things of like,
oh mate, you don't have to tell me twice.
You don't want to be doing it forever.
You don't know how bad I want to ignore that.
Yeah.
Body wash, £1. I'll just send her £1. I'll give you £1 back. Out that £50 security waiver you paid, I'll just send you like £3 back. Like, walk to Tesco's around the corner.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's a good idea. On that note then, I think we're done, aren't we? Look at that. Yeah. Thanks guys.
Been useful?
Oh yeah. I've got loads of growing to do.
How have you in general found the kind of support and mentorship so far?
It's been eye-opening and it's very like, I think it's what operators need. So there's a lot of people out there that will give you, like we were talking about, will give you like, these are your options. Like pick any of them. But when you really want to niche down like the back end, which we've spoken about, software, systems, everything, it's been great because you've shown me, I don't even know how many softwares, but I'm like, oh, there's a website for this or there's an app for this. And I'm like, what? So yeah, I think it's well worth it.
Good.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's it.
Good
Fine.
stuff.
Pleasure having you. How have you in general found the kind of support and mentorship so far?
It's been eye-opening and it's very like, I think it's what operators need. So there's a lot of people out there that will give you, like we were talking about, will give you like, these are your options. Like pick any of them. But when you really want to niche down like the back end, which we've spoken about, software, systems, everything, it's been great because you've shown me, I don't even know how many softwares, but I'm like, oh, there's a website for this or there's an app for this. And I'm like, what? So yeah, I think it's well worth it.